Well, how's everybody doing tonight, Robert family? One more time, we're right here like we always promise. We follow 20 minutes. I'm not even 20 minutes, right, Jean Paul? Probably what, 10
No, it is.
minutes?
Yeah, not even. Yeah, 10 minutes after what I'm gonna say was a barely watchable Rumble. The ending made it, but God, that was awful to get through until the last
Please,
10 minutes
please
of
tell
the
me
show.
the analogy. Please tell me the
Yeah, I
analogy.
like I said to you watching this because obviously you guys have seen the Rumble, and then you're watching it because you love our opinions of wrestling. So you know Drew McIntyre won. I said this Rumble was like getting shot 10 times, and McIntyre winning was like taking out 6 bullets, but I still have 4 bullets in me. I'm
It
still in
was.
pain. I'm still probably going to pass away, but the chances of me living are more likely.
I'm,
But
yeah,
man,
yeah.
that was
So,
who oh now this is a dumb question, but who the fuck booked this thing?
at least the winner probably they told McMahon to, hey, don't make Roman win because the whole crowd you're gonna lose them.
Hmm.
So at least, but like I said to you, the one thing is like he's been in the final four probably like all like 6, 7 years already. Like,
Yeah.
come on, like can he get eliminated before that? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, why is he that strong? Like you always say, like, can he ever get pinned?
Yeah,
It's
no.
just terrible. I just don't understand why. But guys, thank you so very much once again for seeing us, for always paying attention to what we do, and again, we want to say thank you to the new subscribers. We got like 2 members of our family, and thank you so very much for that. But we're gonna go right straight to the point. Before that, I just want to say, Jean Paul and I want to take 1 minute just to send our condolences to the family that for all this tragedy that happened with Kobe Bryant. We feel that like it was a sad day, but at least kind of like the Rumble made it a little better for us. But when something like this happens, we all feel bad. So things like this, we don't want to happen to any one of us, any one of you, any one of our families. But life goes on, and we gotta keep going. So, Mr. Jean Paul Egg, Royal Rumble 2020. The show started with, of course, the pre-show and something that we called it.
Hmm.
Sheamus and Shorty G is the opening match for this show. Did we know who was gonna win? Yes, we did.
Yeah. And that
So
wasn't spoiling. It wasn't a Paul Heyman spoiler. It's one of those things where like sometimes wrestling is a little predictable, and it's like you bring it in, Sheamus, and what's he gonna do? Lose his first match? That's
yeah,
like when we watched the main event of, or the not the main event, the opening match of SmackDown. Were the Usos and Roman gonna lose their opening match? Are they like
yeah,
the Usos return match? No. So
yes.
this, but like this, it honestly both of these pre-show matches they weren't bad, but
No,
it was but they were both predictable. Like, and Sheamus looked good. Like, I think it was Charlie Caruso or somebody. They're like, he looked like he hasn't aged in like 10 years. He still is legit. He does the Celtic workouts, and you couldn't tell anything here. He still looked in great shape.
he's good, but like when that comment that Charlie said, like really, like he's only been out for more, nearly like a year, or not even a
Hmm.
year. I'm like, are we talking about? Are we talking about Edge? You
Yeah.
know, he's not on this day. But anyway, of course he's gonna look good. Like he was in last year's WrestleMania. What are we talking
Yeah.
about here? Like of course we knew that he had the spinal stenosis and everything. But I feel that like yeah he came back good. I
Hmm.
enjoy the haircut now because it doesn't look stupid anymore.
Hmm.
And Shorty had a good showing here because
Yeah.
he and see that's something that maybe I didn't like as much. Why? Because if Sheamus is saying that he's gonna be this destructive force, this guy that is gonna be able to wipe house with everybody, why is he receiving so much offense? At some point, even with the crucifix, he
Hmm.
almost like Shorty almost beats him.
Yeah, there's a couple of times in this match because, like, just to kind of breeze through this because we got a lot talked about. Is mostly the story with Sheamus started out strong and all that, and just working over Chad Gable, like crushing his hand into the ring, into the ropes and all that. And then, but like you said, Gable looked good. He had like some roll up attempts and stuff, and he got him in the ankle lock a couple of times. And it's like, oh, the story was Shorty G's hand versus the foot and the legs of Sheamus. Like, was he wearing down the legs? He couldn't do the bro kick. But like you said, it was a couple of times where I didn't think he was like Chad Gable was gonna win because like there's no way, there's
Yeah,
no way he was gonna win. But like there was times where it looked like he was gonna win,
it looked like
and
that.
then yeah,
Yeah.
it
So
was
just let me take you to the like the final sequences of the match. Sheamus kicks at Shorty, but he holds on. Sheamus is crawling to the ropes, and he's trying to break the hold. Like Shorty G is doing the ankle lock, then he attacks Sheamus in the corner, but he gets kicked back. Sheamus leaves Shorty, but he gets rolled up with a crucifix, and then is a near fall, and then he hits the bro kick, and that's how he wins.
Yeah,
So,
and when he hit the bro kick, it was like I don't remember. It was like a weak cover, but I think it took him like a while to make the cover.
yeah,
And because he was selling the injury like to the leg and stuff, and because he a tough match with Gable, and I thought Gable was gonna kick out.
yeah,
I thought it was gonna keep going, but then obviously you're not gonna bury the bro kick like that. So it's like
that's what I
Sheamus
mean.
wins,
So.
but like we said, it was a decent opening match, but the feud to me was just kind of bullshit. It was just like a way to get Sheamus back into the WWE, get his feet wet, so to speak. But it was like I don't know, you could have just put him in the Royal Rumble and had him look legit.
That would have been well for how bad some of the members in the Royal Rumble like look right now.
Yeah, I know.
Like, they made the right call to just not have him in.
Let's not get me fired up until we get there.
I want John
But
Paul
I'll be fired up at the women's Royal Rumble.
and shoot and everything. But
I will.
We got now United States Championship match. Andrade Cien Almas defending against Humberto Carrillo. And well, this match we've seen it already before. Like they fought twice on Raw and some. So there was more of the same. They fought the pre-show at TLC when Humberto got the win. So more of the same. We knew that, but both of us knew, and you cover Monday Night Raw all the time, so you knew Andrade's keeping the championship. There's no way that Humberto's going to get that title. So your thoughts on that?
Like the match, like you said, it was good because both these guys are talented, but they didn't do anything special. Like the Rey Mysterio matches were special because there was the emotion there. Like Humberto, when has he cut a promo on Andrade? Yeah, he shows up to defend his, idol Mysterio, but it's like, okay. That would be like me. Mysterio's my idol. What the fuck? Am I going to show up on Raw and beat Andrade? No. It should have been his kid.
Yeah.
It should have been Dominic. That would have been more legit. Not saying I want to see him and Dominic have a match, but like it would have been like more legit. Like the problem with Humberto isn't his in-ring talent. The problem is we're just not emotionally invested in him. We don't care.
Yeah.
Like why do we?
Because he doesn't talk.
Yeah. Why do we care? And like and the one thing, this is like, can Zelina Vega say something else on ringside besides knees? All she says is knees. She just everything Andrade does. Knees.
Well,
she wants him to do the Meteora.
Probably that's the only word that he understands.
Yeah, but it's like, fuck, then just speak to him in Spanish.
Talk to me. It's like Charlotte, teach him better English here.
Yeah.
It's like it's weird. Like I will tell you that. Like, but again, we knew that Cien Almas is gonna keep the title. Good thing he wasn't in the Rumble, so I'm happy about that because this guy deserves like a huge push, like McIntyre did. At some point, both of them were feuding for the NXT Championship.
And that's a one thing I just want to quick say. I wish this was a rule that if you wrestle a match, you cannot be in the Rumble.
Yeah, that should be something.
Roman and Corbin shouldn't have been in it. No. Sheamus and Gable weren't in it. That makes sense. Andrade
and Humberto weren't in it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, why do you have to have Roman and Corbin in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they didn't. It's not like they're. Well, I'll get into it later. But it's not like they have a storyline coming out of the Rumble. It's not like what are you gonna do? Edge and fucking Roman? No.
Hopefully not. So anyway, the last sequence of the match, Andrade chops Humberto on the ropes, but Carrillo hits a Hurricanrana and crawls across the ring to pin for a near fall. Andrade looks for a back suplex, but Carrillo counters, and Andrade manages to roll him out for the win. So not even finishers, not even hammerlock DDT. At the end, like you said, these two matches just to get the crowd hype, just to get everybody ready for the main.
And with that ending, it goes to the whole thing where it's like, oh, you didn't hit your finisher on me. It was a bullshit roll up. So then I'm sure Humberto will do something, and I hope we don't see it at the Chamber. Just drag the story out till WrestleMania and make me emotionally invested in this feud instead of we got to book it for the next pay-per-view, or they'll book it in February in Saudi Arabia, and it's like, we won't care.
More time. Yeah, exactly. So we get first opening match, Roman Reigns up against Baron Corbin, falls count anywhere. Yep, you're falling asleep already because it's something that we've seen for the past 6, 8, 10, 11 weeks.
They even said on commentary, they said that these guys have been feuding forever, but they were saying it in a way like they were excited about it, and it's like, who cares? Both of these guys combined, their movesets equal half of AJ Styles.
And yeah,
it's you every time they wrestle, you see the same thing, and they try to spice it up. Falls count anywhere, tag teams, all this other bullshit, and it's like we don't care. You're booking this for one or two people. Nobody like. I'm glad it was the opening match because then it was just done.
it was just over with, and nobody cares, like you said. It's
Yeah.
like, and another thing you just said is like they've been added every single stipulation on the book, so like we don't care anymore. We haven't cared since the beginning, since the feud beginning.
No, I
Yeah,
literally
since it begun. I don't care. I don't want to see it.
as soon as SmackDown moved to Fox, like that opening night was awful. I don't care. Like The Rock coming out with Becky Lynch, don't care. Lesnar beating Kofi in 8 seconds, don't care. It was all awful, and it's been awful since then. And SmackDown hasn't done anything good since moving to Fox.
Exactly. So, well, we had, like I said, the same match that we've been having for the past 6 months, 2 years, whatever it was. Usos came out to help out Roman because, of course, Ziggler and Bobby Roode, that is not glorious anymore. So please don't be wearing that robe. You're not
No.
glorious anymore. They were all helping out. They went even to the crowd. They went to the announcer's table. They Roman hit a Samoan drop on the table also. So they went all over the ring. So this match actually wasn't even in the ring for the most part.
Yeah.
80% wasn't on the outside, and like I said, it was pretty much, it became into like a six tag at some point. But just the final moments of the match, Roman leaves Corbin and uppercuts him as they make again. They wear through the crowd. They fight over the dugout and climb up on top of it. And then Roman hits a Superman punch, then runs and spears Corbin for the win. Have we seen this?
Who cares?
Who cares? You know, we knew it was going to happen. Move on. Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe and Short backstage, and it's like, okay, are we going to be legit? Are we a team, or every man for itself?
Yeah, it's like rope break. We're like, well, if it comes down to just rope break, then then it's Jean Paul versus Wanzo. But if it, until then, we're gonna eliminate.
Yeah. It's like it's like if it is like that, whatever. It's all good. We got it. So the same thing goes with Fire and Desire. They say, hey, it's not Otis, Mandy, and Sonya. Is Mandy and Sonya? And Sonya said, if it comes down to you and me, I will throw myself because I want.
That was such bullshit.
That was.
I was like, really?
I don't know if they're trying to do the lesbian angle. I don't know if they're trying to go that route. I don't know what's going on that. But like you say, it's like, come on. It's even Sonya Deville. I think she's probably talented, but we don't see her. Because all the focus is on Mandy. All the focus all the time is Mandy.
Yeah, they don't focus on any of these women. Like, we're gonna get into it soon, but like Sarah Logan comes out, done. Like you repackage these women, you bring them out, and done.
Yeah,
it's the same old shit. Charlotte, and that's who we got to focus on.
Exactly. It is like it's the only like you said about AEW. Most of the time, is the same thing. They keep it in the family. They don't have the elite name. They don't have the elite, but they have like these four guys that they always focus on, and everybody else. Is
I would say AEW, they're like their thing is the elite, and like in WWE, they have like their agendas.
Like romance,
whether it's the blonde, big-titted bimbo agenda or it's the Samoan agenda.
Exactly. So
speaking of the Samoan agenda, I'm surprised we didn't see someone.
We didn't see, but because we're going to talk about the Women's Royal Rumble. Yep. We didn't get to see Nia Jax. We didn't get to see Ruby Riott. That I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, that was bull. There was a lot of people in the Women's Royal Rumble that it was like, really?
Yeah, we got to. It was like a lot of really why are they there, and then another one's okay. So, Alexa Bliss, my goddess. My goddess is the one that is number one. So I'm telling Jean Paul, oh, that sucks. And then we get to see Bianca, the revelation or like the breakthrough artist, Belair. So both of them started the match, and it started out good. I want to say, and then we got then we got Mighty Molly Holly. So that's when Jean Paul was like, what the hell is this?
See, I don't mind that because, like I said, she had a good showing. It was last year or the year before. One of those.
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, she looked legit. And I'm not going to say bring her back to the division, but, she can still go a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
She's not like a Kelly, you know what I mean? She can actually do some moves.
No, and she was champion. I respect Molly Holly, so she was legit. She was legit. Then we get Lana. Then she was like dressed as Captain Marvel. Nobody gives, a single crap.
And of course, when she came out with the mic, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, so that was bad. And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna win because I'm just newlywed. I'm gonna win because my man is the hottest man in the world." Blah blah blah. Then we get somebody legit. That's it. The women's rumble had a lot of women for NXT, so that was kind of cool to see. We got Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah,
so that was good. And then also Nikki Cross was there. So you could see a lot of alliances. Like I will say to you, overall, the women's Royal Rumble wasn't bad.
Oh
As
no, it
ex-
was good. It was good until the fucking atrocious ending.
yes, because we got also like a good situation with Lana and Liv Morgan because Liv Morgan came out, she eliminated Lana, but then Lana eliminates Liv Morgan. That is
Mhm.
something that will
Now,
tell you.
what is? Yeah, I want to ask your opinion on this. If let's say like that, like she eliminates Liv Morgan, do you think it should be a rule where if you're eliminated by a superstar who's already eliminated, you should be allowed to get back in?
Exactly.
I think
That's
I
what
think that's a rule because
I've
it's like
always
what?
complained about that. I've
Because
always complained about
if I was Lesnar, I would have just stayed at ringside and fucking ripped everyone out.
it. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I mean, he won
That's
the
how
one.
he got eliminated on 2016 like that. The Wyatt family came, from the outside and then just pulled him out and he was done.
Yeah,
And
so I'm
it
like,
doesn't make sense. It
yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
yeah. I
Then
mean,
we have a
not
really
that Liv Morgan should have been like one to win it, but it's like really like the poor girl. She's supposed to have like a new character. Vince McMahon's like, I'm gonna put her in this lesbian angle, and that wasn't the original plan for her. And then now she's stuck in this garbage storyline, and she's presented like some like again like just some blonde lesbian for just people to watch YouTube and and just oh
yeah.
she's hot and that's it.
That was it. That was it. And I really didn't like that too much. Then we got like a really nice spot with Mandy Rose and Deville a little bit, but like they tried to eliminate Mandy Rose and then she's out, but then she falls onto Otis and Otis is
And then
onto
when I'm watching this, she gets I don't remember who threw her, but she like lands and she hits the apron,
is Nikki Cross
and then
did
she
that.
like slowly rolls off, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like she
Mhm.
rolled off the apron on her own, and I'm like, what? And then it cuts, and Otis was there, and I popped. I was like, the
It was
belly.
awesome. It was awesome. I really enjoyed that.
It
Like
was
see
legit.
that, and the whole crowd was eating that.
Mm.
And then it was great. Like she came back into the match, and then we got to see women like Candice LeRae. She got she was dressed as like Harley Quinn, really legit stuff. And
Candice LeRae
Montage,
had a good showing, I thought.
who Candice LeRae?
She didn't look bad. I mean, she wasn't like a standout, but she was in there for longer than last year, and she looked
Yeah.
good, and she's just so talented.
You know who else got a good showing for me? Mercedes Martinez.
Mm.
She was eliminated. Bianca eliminated a lot of girls. She got like
Yeah,
8 or 9
Bianca
eliminations.
has the record. I
Yeah.
think she had like 7 or 8, and the
eight
record
eight
was 6.
eliminations because she got a lot of them. She got Mercedes Martinez, she got Fire and Desire, she got Nikki Cross, she got a lot of women. Then
Hmm.
the one thing that like you hate, of course, and I think I do hate also. Kyrie Sane get in, and then she got eliminated by Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, which the only reason I hate it, like, it doesn't matter that it was Bliss. I just say that to ruffle your feathers and
Yes, that's right.
to rib you a little bit.
Yeah,
But and again, like, I mean, part of me hates WWE for it, but also it's like, hey, if they know that this woman is going to go to Stardom or wherever when her contract is up because they're offering her more money and they're going to book her more legit, why would you try to book Kyrie Sane better? It's like, hey, thanks for everything you've done for us, but we're not going to use you. We're not going to re-sign you. So, like, why push her? So in that aspect, I understand, but it's like she's way more talented than a lot of these other women who you do push. So it's
yeah.
like that's where I'm like, you know,
It is kind of weird, and then, like I said, she was like there for like a split second. It wasn't
yeah,
like
she
it was
comes
long.
in, she like teases him with the umbrella. She has a little bit of offense. She hit when she went up for the elbow, like maybe not even a
They were
minute of being in
actually
the match.
focusing on somebody else. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was
was
not
like,
it.
oh shit, she's gonna hit before she hits the elbow. I thought she was gonna get thrown off,
Yeah.
but then she doesn't, and she hits the elbow, and then like you said, eventually her and Alexa Bliss go at it, and she gets eliminated, and it was
Yeah,
like,
we also saw Mia Yim. Mia Yim, she had like a decent,
mhm.
thing going on right there. We got Dana Brooke. Of course, she came out and she did like the swanton. She did like the
Mhm.
the, the
The
flip
only
and the
the only 3 moves she knows how to
yeah.
do.
And then also, well, Tamina was there for like a split second.
Thank
She
God.
moved.
That's what I was like, look at this fucking loser.
She took long. She took longer to get there to actually get out.
Mhm.
And then we got to see Dakota Kai. That's another one that went, right there, split second.
To me,
Nothing happened.
and then they even said on commentary, like later on, I know we'll get to it, but I'll just mention it now. When Tegan Knox came out, they're like, "Oh, she's probably upset she didn't get her hands on Dakota Kai." That is when you have the Bret Hart and Lex Luger, boom, 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 both over the rope at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Adds
that's
more
when you have
fuel
like
to
a
their.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. We've seen that so
I'm
many
like,
times.
who booked this freaking show?
Yeah, I don't get it. See
That's
that
what it's
with
like. Oh,
Dakota Kai, like yeah, she was there for a split second. Also Chelsea Green,
same thing, done.
done.
Wait to help Zack
Two
Ryder
moves and
unbox
done.
some toys.
Yeah, 2 moves and done. So you Alexa eliminated. I think she got like 2 or 3 eliminations also, and then we got to see Charlotte. Charlotte was there, and then of course like she starts like everybody tried to eliminate her, but in
Mm.
the end nobody could. So that was like kind of like I was like really upset because I'm like, come on, it's like if 4 women get together, they're not going to eliminate her. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Then Bianca eliminates Alexa, so that kind of bothered me. But I like the interaction with the hair because
Yeah.
Alexa kept pulling on the hair, and then Bianca was also pulling. It's like
Yeah. The
my
only
hair
the
again.
one thing I will say about a lot of these NXT women, Mercedes Martinez looked pretty good, but besides that, the only one who looked legit was Bianca.
Yeah.
And I'm happy they at least made her look good because of her match at Portland. Because if
Yes.
she would have came in like Shotzi Blackheart or Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai, even Candice LeRae, and we'll get to Tony Storm, none of them really looked that good. So it's like, how believable would she have looked then in Portland against Rhea Ripley?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's like that's the one thing I'm like, at least she looked legit.
Maybe that's why they did it. Maybe that might be an indication that she might win the match. Maybe.
I don't like I said, I don't see her winning in Portland, but at least now it's like, oh, like she had the most eliminations in the Rumble. Now they can use that to hype up the match at Portland.
Exactly. So we'll see. And then also we got to see the return of Naomi. That was like cool. Like she came back with like the
Mhm.
springboard moves that she knows how to do.
We'll get to it. I'm sure it's in your notes, but I'm so sick of every year with Naomi and Kofi. Though, oh
Oh,
my god, look at like yeah. I'm like, come, like we don't care. If you do it
yeah.
every
Well,
year, we don't care because then we just expect it.
they always try to do the same thing. Like yeah, with it comes to her and in this the spot that she did, which is we can just review it now. Is like she hold on into like the we will say
Fair.
what the barricade, right?
Yeah.
And it was like I mean that was like there was like a 3 inch difference because if she would have touched with both feet, she would have been done. But like she managed to, of course, get back, get over the barricade, and then she went to the Spanish announce table, then to the German, and she was kind of taunting, like how was she going to come back? And then
Yeah,
eventually, I
and at
guess
that
somebody
point,
gave her
yeah,
like
and at that point, Charlotte was thrown out through the middle rope. I was waiting for Charlotte to just throw her off the announce table
yeah,
because technically she would have been eliminated.
yes,
So
yes,
it's like I was that's what I was waiting for. But
yeah, but yeah, like I said, it's like overall, like I said, I did enjoy it. For example, I see Beth Phoenix came out, so that was cool.
Beth Phoenix
Like
looked legit.
she got busted, like she was bleeding actually. I don't know if you noticed it.
Yeah,
That like, she was like
yeah.
her blonde hair was actually red, and I just say Beth is like a really sweet woman. So say I want to say hi to her because she's really badass. And I remember I said to her, make sure you said hi to Edge, and she's like, yeah, I'll say that. But of course, yeah, she doesn't remember Juanzo, but this is absolutely all right. Then Jean Paul, like he you mentioned, Tony Storm was there also. And then they were trying like Tony came out, but again, no offense, like you said. She did not eliminate anybody. She
Yeah.
was just there, like
She
kind
was
of
in
like
there for
filling in a
maybe
spot.
50, yeah, she was in there for maybe 15, 20 minutes, but I don't know if she had any amount of offense.
Yeah, I just and that was and like I said, I just feel that like they don't believe that match in Tony because in America maybe she's not that
Yeah,
known.
no. Well, if America, you mean WWE main roster, then I
Yeah,
agree. Because
yeah,
look how she's booked, in NXT. Triple H makes her look legit. Like, I mean, yeah, the match at Worlds Collide wasn't that long, but like, well,
in the channel by the way.
yeah, you can't have that like match. You weren't gonna have that match be a half hour, and
Yeah,
Tony wasn't gonna win. So it was like, what's the, you know what I mean? Just
it
get it
makes
over with.
sense.
The
Yeah,
only reason people watch Worlds Collide was for the main event. I shouldn't say
you
the only reason, but that was the meat and the potatoes. That's what
yes.
everybody wanted to see the most.
I absolutely. I think that like well, all of you and me were waiting. We wanted the other matches, but because we've been watching this, we've been covering this, so of course we feel like excited and at the same time obligated to watch,
Hmm.
and cover these things. But then Bianca Belair got eliminated by Charlotte, so you could see a lot, maybe a potential feud. I'm saying down the line, but like you could see the stare down. Like Bianca, like you said, the dark horse, like she did like really good, like 8 eliminations. Now she holds the
Hmm.
record. Kelly came out, like you said, and she had an interaction with Charlotte. She had an interaction with Tony and with Beth Phoenix. Then Sarah
Yeah, and then
Logan was there.
she bent over and was slapping her butt in front of Tony, and it's like, who are you? Like the queen of butts? Like, get out of here! Like, don't be talking, saying that yours is better than Tony's.
Oh no!
Get out of here with that.
That's a rumble. That's an easy winner right there. You just don't even
Yeah,
have to book that. That's a no
yeah.
brainer. But then Sarah Logan was there for like another split second. Charlotte took care of her. Took care of Kelly.
I must
Natalia
have
comes
blinked. I didn't
out.
even see her.
And like you said, Natalia and Beth Phoenix actually had a like they were like together, so they were teaming up and they were trying to eliminate the other ones. They will see who's like kind of like not doing anything. Hey, and they were like teaming up for most of the match.
Mhm.
And also we got to see Selena Vega, Zaya Lee. They were there. Zaya Lee did semi decent for me.
Yeah, that's like
Selena Vega
again,
didn't do anything for
yeah,
me.
again,
Selena Vega didn't.
that's all the NXT women. They did decent, except Bianca. Bianca was the only NXT woman that looked legit.
Yes, yes, and like well, Selena came out like looking like Melina from Mortal Kombat because she's a big fan of Mortal Kombat. She's done Kitana before, and now she's doing Melina and all of that. She did Vega, or yeah, she did Vega like, and because of Vega, the name and everything,
Yeah.
and like
So
last
she's
year,
big like video game and all that stuff, which is legit.
she's into that. Like I mean, a beautiful woman and loves video games. I'm all for it, and I
Mhm.
know you are too. So then we got the Prince of Staten Island, Carmella. She
Princess of
came
Corey
in,
Graves'
did
house.
and of course, you saw how Corey Graves was popping for that. Oh, my
Mhm.
woman is out. My woman's out. So nobody cares.
No,
A natural
exactly.
selection on her by Charlotte. Beth Phoenix then they hit Charlotte with the Gram Slam. I love that move. So that was like absolutely amazing. Tegan Knox came out like you said for another split second. She like the queen of the Shining Wizard. And like and I
Did
think
did she
some
did she even hit the Shining Wizard?
no, I think she did
No.
one of them. One of them, but that was it. Like she got eliminated really quick. So to me, like you said, they wasted a lot of women. I think it fell a little bit too fast for me. But the order of eliminations or how they were eliminated maybe didn't bother me as much all the way up till the end.
Mhm.
And like you said, we had that spot with Naomi, and then we had like of course the stupid spot when Santino Marella came as Santina, and she got a stare down with Beth Phoenix and Natalia, and at the end he pulls out the cobra and then he decides to eliminate himself.
Yeah,
So
because
that's kind of
he's like I can't take on Beth Phoenix and Natalia.
yeah.
Cobra bites himself and done. And it's like really, you could have had. See, that's where. And again, I'm not spoiling it because I'm sure everybody watched it. Shayna shouldn't have been number 30 because that was so predictable. Shayna should have came out in his spot and freaking wiped everyone out. And number 30 could have been somebody like Ronda or somebody like made it legit.
Yeah, and then
But
that's my problem. Like like you said, like and my main thing with Shane with Baszler is like we knew that like she was gonna come out first. Second, like they wasted her because in less than a week you're doing two battle royals.
hmm and she doesn't fucking win.
And that's thank you. That's what I was going to. And then she starts eliminating everybody because she got Tegan knocks out, Xia Li now, Selena Vega,
hmm
Shotzi Blackheart was also there, and then she got eliminated by her. So they kind of like you could say they continue the feud, but in the end, she got Carmella also gets eliminated. Tony Storm got eliminated by Shayna Baszler. So in the end, is Natalia, Beth Phoenix, Charlotte, and Baszler. And then you go, of course, then Beth Phoenix turn against Natalia, and then she eliminated Natalia, and then Shayna Baszler and Charlotte took care of Beth Phoenix, and then the final two is Charlotte and Shayna Baszler, and the last spot in the match, Baszler sees Flair hanging onto the ropes, and she's like, no, 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 and then so she runs over Charlotte, grabs Baszler with her feet, and pulls her out. And in the end, Miss Queen Charlotte Flair, she wins the 2020 Women's Royal Rumble match, and of course that's when we all hated because it should have been Shayna Baszler.
And the crowd was booing the ever loving shit out of this. They hated it. The only people who like it are the freaking losers who like, oh, the queen, the queen. And I was hoping that Shayna Baszler would have freaking went in the ring and started beating her down,
Yeah,
or Ronda would have came out and beat her down, something. And I
give me
texted
something
you
else.
because I'm going to go into it for a little bit. I don't want to focus on it too long because whatever. But
Time
what?
restraint.
Yeah, what are you going to do here? Becky and Charlotte, we've seen that match beaten into the ground. Nobody wants to see that. Charlotte versus Bayley, same thing. Charlotte versus Lacey Evans, I told you that'll be my bathroom break at WrestleMania. If Lacey Evans would beat Bayley at Elimination Chamber or wherever, what are you going to do? Have Ronda come back to SmackDown and beat Bayley and then Charlotte challenges Ronda? Do you want to see that? Do you want to see Charlotte beat Ronda? No. The only thing I want them to do is, out of all those matchups, you book Charlotte and Becky and have Becky win. That's the only thing I want to see because I'd rather have Becky still be the champ.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
if Asuka didn't beat her, you're not going to have Shayna Baszler beat her unless Shayna wins the Elimination Chamber or something. So just have Bailey, or I can't even speak, Becky and Charlotte, and then have Becky win because nobody cares about Charlotte. She's overbooked. You listen to my Raw review, she no sells everyone's offense. She's an asshole.
Well, it's
She's
like, is
she's
the
not she's not
female
a
Roman,
professional. She's not a
female
professional.
Roman, and also like, okay, it's understandable why she won because of course it's a female Roman, so they need to give her that to adding one of her, to her numerous accolades.
Hmm.
But does it make sense now? It doesn't.
No.
So why would you have her instead of Shayna? Shayna and Becky is your money right there, and you
Yeah.
didn't go with that.
And like
The
I said,
only thing I can see, they do something in the chamber, and
yeah.
Baszler becomes number one contender. She goes after Becky, or Becky drops the title before Mania,
Yeah, but
because a
who's
lot of
who's
credence
going to challenge her? There's no one on Raw.
they remember, like I said, maybe then they get Shayna somehow. Because like I said, if we want
Shayna
to
would
see
have to
Charlotte
beat
and
her.
Becky, absolutely not.
Yeah, Shayna would have to beat. Shayna's going to win the chamber. There's no way. There's like at this point there's no way, but like no Sasha Banks? Like I don't think she's hurt. I'm not saying like you don't need to have her win it, but just put her in it. Fuck instead of Santino. Like are you kidding me?
I don't. Maybe she's pulling another shenanigans that she has. Who knows? Because we really don't know what's
Well, then
going on with her.
at this point, retract her contract and just cut her. Because
Yeah.
this back and forth, she's a talented woman, but it's like this back and forth is stupid. Like, just cut them. You have so many women you can call up from NXT to replace her that are just as talented as Sasha because she's good, but she's not the best. I don't care what other people say. You have more talented women than her on your roster. If this is what you're going to do with her, and this is how she's going to be or you're going to be, just cut her and replace her.
Yeah. Well, and let's just say for the record, everybody's replaceable everywhere in the world,
Yep.
any company, any place, anything you're replaceable. And I don't know. Maybe if she's really doing the album. I don't think she's her at all. I maybe, like I said, to me,
Because like
maybe pulling
I was thinking,
shenanigans.
oh, maybe she'll be, with Bailey. She'll come down with Bailey. Nope, didn't
No,
see
nothing,
her.
nothing. So I guess do we hate? Yes, we hate because the ending was crappy. So
Oh
we'll
yeah,
see what they do, and hopefully the match is not Charlotte and Becky. It makes me think that and I'm just trying to be Jean Paul the Booker, and they might do Ronda Rousey, Becky, and Charlotte too. And if they do that, I don't think it's gonna be as good. So hopefully they don't do that. Moving along, Mr. Egg. Bailey, Lacey Evans, women's SmackDown Women's Championship, decent match for what it's worth, and
yeah,
see here the outcome, the right winner won.
yeah. That
We
like to me,
wanted
like
Bailey.
you said, the right winner was Bailey because this feud came out of nowhere, and I guess it builds up babyface sympathy for Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans isn't a bad wrestler. I'm gonna say that now. She's not the greatest. She's not gonna tear the house down in a 5-star classic, but at least she has some offensive moves under her belt. She is not three moves and done like Roman, Charlotte. Charlotte is good, but she doesn't do anything. She just does the same three moves, the same bullshit. So it's like at least Lacey goes out there. She has some moves, but I'm not invested in this story. I don't care because she just showed up on SmackDown when they, after the draft and everything, and was like, oh, I'm going to challenge for the SmackDown Women's title after I just challenged for the Raw Women's title before I moved over here. Like, do something. Like, she could have had a good showing in the Royal Rumble, and not God forbid she would have won it, but I don't know, do something. Because to me,
Yeah,
the money match for the SmackDown Women's Championship would be Sasha Banks and Bailey. But they're not going to do that because that at least has the investment. You can go back to everything in NXT and you can refocus on that. But to this match, it wasn't the greatest thing, but like we said, the outcome was there and that we wanted. And take us through the closing.
oh yeah, see, but like, and something that I just want to add, like very very quick, like maybe like the fact that we have two rumbles is like after the first one, everybody's gassed out.
Hmm.
Everybody's gassed out. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like we gotta go through so many matches
Do
after
you think
this.
they should be back to back? Do you think
I
both they should close the show?
I think they should. I think to me it should be back to back because, like I said, after when the women's one, I was like, oh, and that's why like see this match that comes after that, everybody doesn't care,
Yeah,
and I
the
don't
only
care who
way.
it is, you
Yeah,
know.
like if you're gonna do something like that, there shouldn't have been the Andrade and Mysterio should have been at the Rumble, and the show should have started with the women's Royal Rumble match, and then the next match, if you want to get the crowd back into it, would have been that ladder match.
Yeah,
Because
it
they
would have
might have
been
at the beginning they might have been gassed out, pissed off because
because of
Charlotte
Charlotte.
won, But then 4 or 5 minutes into the match with the freaking Canadian destroyers on the ladders and all this other stuff, the crowd would have been back into it.
You would have been back in it at
Yeah, but
least. But
this
like,
wasn't a match to get the crowd back hyped up.
yeah. And then, well, they keep taunting about with the daughter and everything. But like you said, I agree. Lacey Evans is a good wrestler. And maybe down the line, maybe WrestleMania might be her time. But like I said, the match wasn't great. But I still like Bayley to keep the
Yeah.
championship because like she's a good heel. She
Mhm.
deserves to keep the title because she actually went in heel. Became heel. So Bayley rolls to the outside and Evans leaps over at her, but Bayley moves. Bayley tosses Lacey into the barricade right by her husband and daughter. Bayley grabs her and throws her into the barricade again. Then get back into the ring and Evans fires back, hits a standing moonsault. Lacey climbs to the middle rope and looks for the springboard moonsault, but Bayley gets her knees up and then Bayley pins her and holds the tights for the win. So like the one thing again, there was no even finishers, no women's ride, no Bayley to Bayley, no Rosa
Yeah,
special.
yeah, the
So
rose plant, I think it is. Yeah.
very very plain. But like I said, I feel that like the main reason that they do these things is just because everybody's gassed out from the women's one because you get your flow going with that. So
Hmm.
let's go to something that to me was like the best match of the night, and I really enjoyed this because it was a little longer. And for me, the build-up was a little crappy, but the match turned out to be actually very legit. WWE Universal Championship match, strap match, The Fiend Bray Wyatt
The
versus Daniel
crappy
Bryan.
buildup. This story was legit.
I mean, for me, like like the blood, I didn't enjoy it that much.
I mean,
But I mean, the
the contract signing was definitely bullshit, but but I mean the story, at least for this, the story was there. I like when they like the past and there's all this stuff to revisit, but I mean they definitely could have booked the build up a little better. But this, I agree with you. This was just the best match of the whole night.
yeah, like no, absolutely. Like, see, like the match went long. We didn't get the red light,
Yep,
so
no red light.
that was a really nice thing. So you could see that like at least they're listening somehow.
Hmm.
The Fiend's entrance was absolutely legit. All the lights and everything let me in, and the music very very good. And they beat the hell out of each other.
Hmm.
See, these strap matches they should be something that they do a little more. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah,
Like,
when it calls for it, I don't want to like because don't say that too loud because they'll book Roman and Corbin in a strap match
yeah,
again. But it'll be a dog chain instead of a strap.
or like a for
But
like they fight for like a can of dog food.
yeah, but like you said, it was legit, and the Fiend actually sold for Bryan, which was
Yeah,
cool. It's not like when he no sold for Seth, which I found to be hilarious. Like in here, like Bryan would hit the knee for like a near fall, and it was like, oh shit, like it, and the crowd, like thank God Roman didn't win the Rumble because this is the hottest the crowd will be for anyone to beat the Fiend, and that's not saying Roman can't win the Chamber. I can't believe I'm saying it, and then challenge the Fiend. But it's like no one will be behind anyone to beat the Fiend like they were behind Roman. The crowd was I'm behind Bryan. The crowd was so hot for him to win
yeah,
this, and
yeah.
that's what made the match even more legit for me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like then they kept using the strap, like Brian. And see, I don't know if he was actually hurt after the match because you
Mhm.
could see like the doctors and also the other reps came out and they were carrying him
Yeah,
over.
I think it was just
It was just selling
I
because
just
like
storyline.
he
Yeah.
kept like, oh yeah yeah, brother, and then he kept falling as he was
Mhm.
trying to walk to the back. But like, let me get you some spots. Like, Brian delivers kicks to the head while holding his arms, then takes to the corner and rallies a yes chant. And then Brian runs for the knee and but gets caught into the Sister Abigail and then kicks out. See, that was a nice spot.
That
Like,
was a legit. That was
yeah,
legit.
when he did it, yeah, and then the Fiend looks shocked. The Fiend whips Brian with the belt again, and then leaves Brian, who slaps him, and then Wyatt slaps Brian back. Brian climbs onto the top rope, and then the Fiend grabs him with the mandible claw. And then Brian like kind of like tries to move her, and then he tries to do like an armbar or like a triangle choke. But then the Fiend drags Brian back into the center of the ring with a claw, but Brian counters with a Lavelle lock, and then he actually tied the strap. So that was really cool. See, that
I
was a
was so like I was watching it and I'm like, there's no way the Fiend is gonna tap, but I'm like, but what if? Because
yes,
if Brian winning, that would have been one of those things like last night, like with Garza losing. It's like none of us saw it coming, but it's like, are we really that mad? I wouldn't have been. I mean, it would have been a shock to me. I don't know if I would have been mad because I love Daniel Bryan, and it's like that's a legit story, like because like if someone's gonna, like I said, if someone's gonna beat the Fiend, I'd rather have it be Bryan than Roman.
exactly. So
But to do it at here, it should be at Mania if anywhere. But
it should have been there like that, like you said. But well, the Fiend pulls back to Bryan, and then he lifts him up, and he looks for Sister Abigail, but Bryan rolls him up for a near fall. They separate, and Bryan hits another running knee, but the Fiend kicks out again. Bryan gets fired up, and the fans start chanting yes, but the Fiend just hopes up like nothing just happened. Bryan and the Fiend just stare at each other. Bryan whips him with the bell in the chest for a few times, but Wyatt no-sells it. And then the Fiend applies the mandible claw, and Bryan kicks him like a few times, but then he leaves Bryan and slams him while holding the claw to win. So the mandible
Yeah,
claw, gets another victim. The Fiend
yeah.
retains the championship. Yeah, go ahead.
To me, the ending, like everything up until how it ended, was a little like because I don't like just like the mandible claw, because it seemed like almost anticlimactic. Like you said, the Fiend, he just stood up then, and he just like essentially pretty much like what he always does, just walks over, mandible claw, and done. Like there was no like. I know they did it and Bryan kicked out, but I would have rather seen something where he goes for the knee, and it's like, oh shit, he's gonna win. He catches him, Sister Abigail, and then goes right into the claw.
Yeah.
It's instead of just walking over like, "Hey, how's it going? How are you? How was your day?" and done. It's like, okay,
And for example, see when Mankind used to do the mandible claw, he would remember like he would kind of like will be like this, go with the hand. He's like
yeah,
like
he had it behind your
he's
back. He didn't
looking
just,
for you.
yeah, he
He's
didn't
like
just walk up to you with you looking right at him and just,
and then boom, no, he was
yeah,
like he's like pacing, and he's like Randy Orton when he's looking like he's
yeah.
like taunting for the RKO. So that's the one of the things that it was bad, but overall the match was really
Oh,
legit.
but
It delivered
still,
for me.
still a legit match. Yeah, and like I would agree. Like I said, as cool as it would have been a cool surprise to see Bryan win, it was the Fiend was the right winner. The Fiend, he needs to just keep winning, and I'm happy for Bray Wyatt that they're booking him so legit for once.
Absolutely, yeah, like like he's trying to, at least we're trying to forget about what happened in Hell in a Cell in the bullshit with Seth Rollins.
Hmm.
So it's legit how they're doing it, and good. And then we get the announcement that we're gonna get Super Showdown in February, Thursday, and they like Jean Paul was already informing all of us. They might be talks with Sting. They might be actually signing a contract for a comeback. Never say never in WWE. So we might get the match that like everybody's been wanting for years. Probably way too late that like for what we wanted, but
Way too late for us to.
care
I
about
shouldn't
it.
say for us. I mean, I won't care in the aspect from it. I know it won't be good. It'll be history and this and that, but it won't be good. Like you should have done this before, but part of that was Sting. Sting never wanted to come to WWE, and when he did, maybe the plans was for him to eventually fight Taker, but then Rollins, killed him, and it was done.
Yeah. So I absolutely agree with you, Mr. Leek. I don't think that like they should have done it like that, but we might get the Sting
But
and the Undertaker.
but with all that said, no matter what they do, there will be a full show review right here on Rope
You
Break.
know that. Yeah, that
You
it should
you
it
know it,
should be a
fam. You know it,
no-brainer. We
family.
know how
Yeah,
to book the shows. We
yeah.
know how to book the shows. We're no like creative in WWE. Yeah, it doesn't matter what happens. Rover will always be reviewing the shows, even if it's
Hmm.
bad, if it's really shitty, if it's crappy, or wishful thinking. It will be good. So we go to WWE Raw Women's Championship match. Your girl Asuka against Becky the Man Lynch. Good match for what it was. I think that like
Hmm.
I don't think I enjoyed myself as much, but like I think the match that they had a year ago was better. But
Oh
in
yeah,
the end,
yeah.
we knew who was going to win. Another one, like you said, sometimes once you book like Jean Paul, and that's why you always pretty much correct when it comes to like the outcomes of this, is because like that like Becky is not going to drop the title.
No, and that's the thing because it was like but see that look at that though. When Charlotte won, I thought Oscar. There was like going into this match, I was 100% Becky's gonna win. Like my pie chart, the little circle was 100% full with Becky. When Oscar won, or when Charlotte won,
Charlotte.
yeah, the chances of Oscar winning this match went from like 0 to like 30%. Because I'm thinking they could revisit that WrestleMania match. And then if Asuka is the Raw Women's Champ, Charlotte's on Raw, it makes sense for her to challenge a Raw person. And it's a matchup, which, yeah, we saw it at WrestleMania, but at least it's not Becky. Because it's like we've seen that so many times. It's like, really? And they could pull the swerve, and Asuka could have maybe beat Charlotte at WrestleMania.
And
Because
that
the
would be
Royal Rumble winner doesn't always have to win. We saw that with Nakamura, you
And that will
know?
be legit, and that will be legit
Yeah.
because like it will be in two main pay-per-views. Asuka would have win would have get a victory over Becky Lynch again and Charlotte. So
Yeah.
then
So
Asuka goes to like to the stratosphere, and then
mhm.
you get Ronda Rousey to come back, and then you get that match that like
Yeah,
armbar
at
at Chicago.
SummerSlam.
Yeah,
Because I said Ronda, I'm booking it right now, and I'll put money on it if anybody wants to bet me that Ronda's going to be at the Raw after Mania.
probably,
That Monday Night Raw right after WrestleMania is
probably.
where Ronda's going to be. You're not going to bring her in
And
for
you actually
Elimination
booked that
Chamber.
because I booked like all my predictions didn't come out at all. So I'm a bad. I don't get me for predictions anymore because I said Ruby was gonna come out, Naya nothing. I said I said Ronda's gonna win it. It wasn't even
Yeah,
there.
she wasn't even there.
It wasn't even. And you did say Shayna Baszler, so good for you, Mister. Like heck.
Yeah, but she didn't
And
even win.
well, but at least you said that like at least number two. So I give you 75%,
All right,
accuracy when
all
it
right,
comes to
I'll
your
take it.
predictions. So just some aspects in the match. Of course, we always go through like some sequences. Asuka delivers a series of kicks to Becky, and then it was a little bit of a scare right there that like she might be knocked out, but he was only selling it. The referee stops Asuka to check on Becky. He's about to tell the referee to stop it, and then Becky grabs his leg and makes him stop. Asuka then kicks Becky over and over and over and over and over again and scores a near fall. Asuka then attempts the Asuka lock, but Becky counters and tries to set up the disarmer. My notes are like I just wrote it really fast. The disarmer, but can get it. So she hits the reverse DDT for a 2 count. And then Becky and Asuka climb to their feet at the same time, and Asuka shoves Becky into the referee, and then she looks to hit the poison mist, and that's when John Paul you text him. He's like, "Look, where the poison mist
Well,
is about
because
to."
the only reason I'm going to tell you this is when they were down and the ref checked on her. I'm telling you, the ref handed it to her because right when they got up, I saw her cheeks were like,
Oh,
I saw her cheeks were puffy, and that's when I was like, "Fuck, she's gonna miss Becky and win." And I'm like, "Yes!" And then Becky super kicked her or something, and
yeah,
she
and
looked
then
like Triple H
yeah, pretty much she did.
and
Yeah,
done.
she went into Triple H because Becky ended up super kicking her, and then she pretty much spit all the green mist, and then she got into the disarmer, and then she tapped
And you know what? Like some of the mist when it came, it got a good amount of it got on
on
Oscar's
us.
face, and
Yeah,
I wish Oscar would have sold that. I wish that would have been the thing where Oscar was like, the mist is on my face, even though she has the makeup on her face that's like green, like the mist. But like it could have been where it backfired and it burned her, and then because you got to
yeah,
think,
because for example, that's the reaction that everybody else gets when they get
yeah,
the mist.
yeah,
So
and then that's where Becky could have scored the pin, and it would have been like, haha, use your own dirty tactic against you instead of just like disarm her and tap. It's like,
and that is something that Jean Paul told me is like because they were like kind of like a show of respect from Becky to Asuka, and I was like,
yeah, yeah,
why are we
Becky.
friends?
Yeah,
Why are we
Becky looks at
friends?
her and nods, and it's like, yeah, screw you. Would you have been nodding if Oscar would have beat you?
Yeah, like
No.
I don't
It's like,
understand that part.
yeah, oh, now that you beat her, now you're like, oh, I respect you.
I
But
don't
before
understand.
that, you were like, I'm gonna beat you, you dope.
I don't
And
understand that.
yeah, the thing
So,
with Becky to me is just she reached that point where she's like she's stale now. Because it's like, what else are you gonna do? There's nobody on Raw for her to lose it to except Charlotte. And it's like we don't want that, but that's the
if they
freaking
do that,
all signs point there.
they're bearing that division even more.
Hmm.
It's going from 6 feet to like 8 feet, 10 down the ground
Yep.
because, like you said, Baszler should have been
Yeah,
Baszler or Ronda.
they're digging that division so deep they're gonna hit oil soon.
Yeah, pretty soon. I mean, and if they need that, they're going to be making money at least out of the oil, but not of ticket sales.
Yeah.
So then we get to announcements. Well, they got the Street Profits. Like instead of being in the Rumble, of course, they become singers, they become rappers, and that's it. That's why people I don't think they are taken serious
No,
because they
because
start doing this
they
crap.
didn't do that shit in NXT. And if
Yeah,
they like at least not to the extent like this,
yeah,
where they went out there and they wrestled and they showed they're legit.
yeah, exactly. So that was bad. And then they said also that Rusev and Bobby Lashley they were not going to be there because supposedly before the Royal Rumble, before the event took place, they actually got into an altercation and they were beating at each other. So both of them were not able to compete. So good thing that they kept both of these men out because we're
Well, I
trying
wish
to
they would
bring
have
them.
did that. I wish they would have did the same thing to the other two guys who had an altercation.
Oh yeah, well we just wanna like say very brief that like there was a confirm according to our sources, like the Jean Paul ex sources, they said that like Matt Riddle and Brock Lesnar they had a small altercation prior to the Royal Rumble to the beginning. It seems like
Bruh.
more that like Brock Lesnar was here they were walking by Matt Riddle and he wanted to know what's going on. So very similar to the same altercation that he had with Goldberg. Extremely similar, but nothing came out. There was no punches, no physical action at all. But you could tell that like Lesnar, Goldberg, everybody's annoyed by the Bros comments. And I mean, if he's trying, I mean, if he's able to back them up, hey, if the guy's better, I mean, they
That's what
should
I mean.
try
Yeah,
to
they're
do
both
that.
MMA fighters. Put them in the ring, brawl
Yeah,
for all.
they should be. Yep. And now, Mr. Leek, we go to the worst part, like the worst probably 25 minutes of the Royal Rumble history. Brock Lesnar opens the main Royal Rumble, goes number one, Elias. That's number two.
Hmm.
Starts singing the song, toss him out. And
I
then
was
Eric
thinking,
Rowan,
before we get into this like dumpster fire of a Royal Rumble match, I was thinking you have our truth come out number two.
yeah,
You know, to have that whole little thing, because it would have been like, okay, whatever, but he wasn't even in the match. But yeah, so like Elias done, Eric Rowan done,
done. Done. Bobby Roode,
done.
done. Done. Like, and it was in this order. And, it was that quick.
Yep.
So Jean Paul, myself were thinking, like, really? And this is, again, and now I want you to shoot. My part of shooting is like, you're shitting on your own roster.
Yeah.
How you make these guys look that bad?
Dig
You're
in the
throwing
hole.
so much
Dig in the hole.
dumps and dumps of jack shit on these people. Why? Because it's like you can bury your talent like that. Come on. Is he like that, like that over everybody else?
Mhm.
Is he
Like I
that
said, like
dominant?
Elias, okay, whatever.
That one makes sense.
But
Ed Rowan, no.
Eric Rowan he's squashing. I mean, okay, he's squashing jobbers, like legit jobbers. But he's been winning these matches, and he squashed Matt Hardy and all these other guys. And there's this storyline going on with his cage. Not that it's the best storyline ever written, but it's like now he looks like a bum. Now when I see him, tomorrow night probably beat another jobber with an iron claw slam in 8 seconds, I'm not gonna care because I'll be like, dude, you lost to Lesnar.
In
You
less
got
than eight
thrown out in
seconds.
freaking
It
eight
was 3
seconds.
seconds, yeah. And like the eliminations were that quick. They weren't even like back and forth, action. Like they didn't even get any offense on Lesnar. It'll be
No,
two
Bobby
punches,
Bobby Roode was like
close, like
kick, and then throws him in the
F5.
corner. Lesnar throws him in the corner. F5 done.
Done. Done. So for he dominated the first 13 guys because he actually evened the record, I believe, that like Braun Strowman has in the Greatest Royal Rumble. That for many people doesn't even count as a Royal
No, that
Rumble.
don't count. No.
So yeah, that's what like and then one guy that we thought he was gonna look decent, 2 seconds, Morrison.
Hmm.
Yeah, John Paul told me like, oh, I hope they cannot drop this guy up. Yes, they did. Two
Yeah.
seconds, one punch, clothesline, done. So why did they do this? Then we get Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio, he lasted a little bit. Then
Yeah.
Ricochet was also
Kofi
there.
came out. Kofi
Kofi
came
came
out.
out.
Kofi came out first, and then he lasted in there. Then it was Mysterio, and then Big E, and it was like, okay, this is. I thought Lesnar was done here, and I wish he would have been. And they set him up. Big E hit it was Trouble in Paradise, the big
Big
ending,
ending,
619,
619.
and he's like, "Fuck you guys," and then done. It was
And the crowd was so hot when like Kofi was getting some offense on him.
yeah, because
But like,
the crowd even knew at this point they hated it. No, people were like, "Really?" Like
yeah,
Elias, it's like okay, yeah, whatever. Eric Rowan, it's like okay, yeah, whatever. Bobby Roode, okay, whatever. But
what?
like Morrison, really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, and then like you said, and then he eliminated the three of them. He eliminated
Hmm.
Mysterio, Kofi Kingston, Big E. Then Cesaro came in, 2 seconds out. Then Nakamura came in, 2 seconds. Uriah champion
Hmm.
comes out, 2 seconds and out. Then Shelton Benjamin, another one that they pretend they
Another
were friends.
loser, a freaking
Another loser.
loser. He's like, oh, me and Brock Lesnar were roommates in college, and he's
We're
gonna,
broskies.
yeah, he's gonna, him and I will just eliminate everybody. Dude, Brock had no problem eliminating everyone else before you. See ya.
Bye bye. So yeah. Anyway, so not good at all. And then like I said, Nakamura. Then we got the return of Montel Vontavious Porter, MVP. Lasted what, 2 seconds?
Done.
Nothing of importance. One punch, F5, see ya.
You gotta.
So
I wonder how much they paid him because he had that gear. He looked like Black Panther, like from the Black Panther movie. He
yeah,
had the little like the spike necklace thing on his gear. The gear looked legit. It probably was expensive. I hope they paid him enough to be here for 3 seconds.
I know. And also that return was spoiled because, like I said, like we knew from the day before that they were actually testing his music and everything. But it was what it was. Like I said, at this point, everybody's just this is a complete mockery. This is a joke. This is something that you should have never done because again, a part timer. Brock Lesnar is not a full time wrestler, and how is he supposed to be the leader when he eliminates everybody?
Like,
You know?
if it would have, like I said, there's a couple guys where it's like, we know they're legit, but they're not presented in a legit way. So it's like, whatever. Your SmackDown tag champs, your IC champ, done. Really? These are people who are holding belts. That's why it should have been guys like Elias was fine. That's why you have R-Truth, and you have these guys who like nobody cares about to a
Yeah.
certain extent. Not freaking champions.
Nope. And then at least and then it's like something that and we know that like it pissed everybody off. Keith Lee came out. Keith Lee came out. Keith Lee and John Paul is already like in fear. He was about to like shit his pants because like
Mhm.
if they job Keith Lee and I was like everybody was like come on, you can't just job this guy out.
And what happened?
He just become the champion and
J
then
O B.
yeah.
Done.
Done. Well, at least he lasted a little bit because he had a little bit of offense on Lesnar, so he was dominating semi,
Yeah,
at the
he
beginning,
looked good until who came out?
and then the
Freaking
boring in the monster about boredom, and that's a Braun Strowman. So it's like okay, we have two big guys and Lesnar, so it's like okay, maybe they team up, they can eliminate him, that will be legit. But instead of doing that, they went at each other, and then Lesnar took both of them out.
Yeah, but let me just rewind it a little bit and then we'll get past because after this it becomes legit. You have Keith Lee gets thrown through the ropes. At this point I'm thinking, okay, you're gonna have Strowman and Lesnar go at it. Lesnar eliminates Strowman. Keith Lee comes in and eliminates Lesnar. That's how the way this should have been done. Instead, the monster among mindless freaking idiots decides, and even commentary was like, what is he doing? He goes outside and shoulder tackles Keith Lee, giving Lesnar time to recover, get up, and then it's like, really? Like, you are an idiot. You should you should not be allowed in a pro wrestling ring. You should be banned from the squared circle for the rest of your life. You are a moron.
The mat is supposed to be sacred.
I hope he never holds gold in any promotion ever. I hate Braun Strowman. Done. Let's
Yeah.
move on. So Keith Lee, Braun Strowman, both eliminated.
Then we get like the Juan and only because he's the only one that like gets a kick, and that's all he does with Brock Lesnar is Ricochet. So he comes out and then he's feuding with Lesnar for a little bit. It seems like he's gonna like overpower Lesnar for a bit. He gets a backbreaker, so Lesnar starts dominating, and now is when it gets legit because our new saver, our new main event guy, somebody that has been wanting that position for the longest time and so well
deserved. I was gonna say not even just wanting it, somebody who deserves it.
And that's why I said so well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Drew, the Scottish Terminator,
Psychopath.
McIntyre, psychopath, Terminator. Drew McIntyre comes out, and then he actually has the stare down with Lesnar, and then it happens what you told me that I didn't even catch that. Ricochet low blows Brock Lesnar. Mm-hmm. And then McIntyre gets the claymore.
And let me just say this: that's what anybody's got to do. What did Rollins do to beat Lesnar?
Low blow him. Yeah.
As soon as this match starts, kick this dude in the dick and done.
Yeah.
And then because like you said, Ricochet was behind him, kicked him, done. And he was right at the ropes. Claymore kick, and done. And it was so
you
beautiful.
Can tell that like to me the feud that's going to be the match of WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Something happened with Cain Velasquez, or maybe people don't want to see that. Thank God, people are actually telling McMahon, "Hey, dude, no, nobody."
Look, when he came out at SmackDown, he was limping to the ring. He takes his shirt off. John Paul looks in better shape than he did at the time, and it's like, really, like, no, why? Okay, and why are we gonna care? He jobs out to Lesnar in 3 minutes in Saudi Arabia. Again, why do we care? We don't. So Cain Velasquez was. I'm glad we didn't see him here at all.
That's what I mean.
Get this guy ready, build him up, and have him be at the Raw after Mania or something. Like
if he improves in his wrestling abilities, have him on. I mean, he signed a 5-year contract, so have him.
And I'm not saying that I never want to see the guy succeed, but it's like we don't care. And if you push someone right to the main event that we don't care about. No one's going to accept it. No one's going to accept it.
He wasn't ready. Exactly. No one's going to accept it, especially if he doesn't have enough wrestling ability to make us believe that like he's legit. I mean, UFC fighter, yes, but two different things.
I wish he wouldn't have accepted it. I wish he would have cut his teeth in AAA for a year or two, got really good, and then came here.
Exactly. So, then McIntyre is in the ring. He eliminates Ricochet. Miz comes out. He also eliminates The Miz with a Claymore kick. Then Brock, finally he leaves, and then like I said, I'm most likely thinking that that's going to be the match at
Yeah.
WrestleMania. It's going to be Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar, which
Yeah,
is
but
going to be
there's no way
legit.
he's gonna challenge the Fiend because that's set up for the big dog.
That's for the big dog. And then we get AJ Styles comes out, so we get the stare down with McIntyre. They start going because there's kind of like a semi feud right there. It's a low key feud, and then they start brawling it one more time. Then Dolph Ziggler comes out, and he's of course trying to help. He's trying to help AJ Styles because they hate McIntyre for some reason. And then we get also,
Well,
let
you
me
could say
see.
that Mac. I mean, that I didn't mind because they were old tag partners. Excuse me. And then they split, so it's like that's a little that at least made sense to me. But I was worried because where Hoon soon was gonna come out that they were gonna both eliminate McIntyre.
Yes, and but they also like Carl Anderson comes out. But see, that's at least you got to see a Royal Rumble. We got to see people rolling, right? Because
Hmm.
for the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, we
Yeah,
saw
well,
just
that you
one
got to
guy
think that
eliminating everybody.
Drew McIntyre came out at number 16,
Yeah, so
so
like
at that
it's
point, half of the men were gone.
yes.
The Royal Rumble started with only the Royal Rumble was 15 men.
That's what I mean. Like so
Yeah,
that's mockery
it was
again.
essentially a
It's
15-man
flashy,
Rumble.
it's stupidly done. But anyway, now we get to the meat and potatoes, like Jean Paul said. We get to the main dish, main course, because the guy that is in Jean Paul Egg's shirt made
You
his
think you know me?
return, and you think you know me. On this day, we got to see Alter Bridge music like for the longest time, and it doesn't matter whether a lot of people like spoil it for us. It felt good,
Hmm.
because to see Adam Copeland coming back after pretty much 9 years of absence, it just
And
felt
yeah,
good.
and he looked good, just like physical shape. He looked good. I like the beard. I'm happy he didn't shave the beard. Like when Jericho shaves, he looks like he don't look good. Jericho's got to have a little bit of scruff. I don't like the clean shaven. Edge looks good. I was hoping he wouldn't be clean shaven. He looks good with the beard. He comes out fireworks. To me, that was legit. Give him fireworks. The dude hasn't been here for 9 years. Give him what he deserves, and it was legit. And he looked like I said in the whole Rumble match. He looked good.
Oh no, like see, like, and I gotta tell you, like I think most likely he got all this, better improvement because of like a lot of wrestlers are going to South America, to get
Yeah, the stem cell. Yep.
the stem cells treatments. Dryback
Hmm.
did that, Morrison did that, and also Edge. I know
And
that,
Brian.
and Brian, and that's why I'm there. A lot of people are saying that Page will be the next one
Hmm.
because
Why not?
Page has the exact same injury that
That's what I'm
Edge has.
saying. Why not?
So
If it works for everyone else, I hope she does it too. Her
because it
career.
will be so
Yeah.
legit, it will be
Yeah,
so
she
legit.
wasn't like the most amazing women's wrestler, but she was legit enough that I want to see her come back.
And when you see guys like this that like they love what they do,
Hmm.
they're good at it, and
Yeah,
they
and they
make
don't
us,
walk away on their own terms. They're
and we
forced to walk
enjoy
away.
this, and we
Yeah.
enjoy this. It's so good to see them, like open this new chapter and
Hmm.
close it maybe with like a golden page, so to say.
Hmm.
And I really appreciate that. Edge came out like again incredible shape, and then he starts spearing everybody. He starts spearing Ziggler, McIntyre, AJ Styles, and that was like that interaction. And at some point, Jean Paul the Booker is saying that might be the WrestleMania match. Edge against AJ Styles. We will be a dream match. Who doesn't want to see that? And like you said, he looked good. He still can perform all of the moves.
Yeah, and that's not saying Edge couldn't, hold his own in the match, but AJ Styles could carry. AJ Styles could take me to a 5-star match.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So with him and Edge in there, it'll be a classic
he will be
if
legit.
if
So
that's what
then,
they go with.
and thank God, and good for Edge. All everybody that loves professional wrestling like we do, we love to see Edge back.
Hmm.
His music, his whole character. I grew up, you grew up, knowing Edge. I remember my first memories of Edge is like when the TLC matches and everything.
Hmm.
When he was with the Bruce, with one of my guys, Christian and Gangrel. So Baron Corbin gets in the ring, and also he got eliminated. He get a choke slam and a backbreaker. McIntyre turns on Ziggler. Then AJ Styles gets eliminated by Edge, and then we got to see the Bro, Matt Riddle. One of your guys. He came out, but like he got eliminated really quick.
Yeah,
But
all these NX, all the NXT guys, like the NXT women, like I said, some of them look legit, like, especially Bianca. There was not an NXT guy in this that looked good at all.
no,
They all jobbed them out, man, like nobody's business.
yes, and well, McIntyre eliminated Baron Corbin. That was legit. Then
Mm.
Gallows came out, and Anderson they did the Magic Killer and Edge. but Edge is still in the match. Then Randy Orton comes out. So then they reunite the Rated RKO, legit. I
Hmm.
used to love that faction, and they both took care of Gallows and Anderson. Then you see kind of like Edge and Randy Orton staring at each other. It's like, are we gonna do it or we're still friends? He's like, no, 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 we're friends. We're legit. Then Dolph Ziggler gets eliminated. Then we get to see the Big Dog coming out, and that's when everybody gets upset. We're all like,
Hmm.
green. We're like, oh,
We're
really
all
nervous.
nervous, like, oh
We're
my
all
god,
getting like
please.
nervous. We start peeing our pants. But then Kevin Owens comes out. Kevin Steen Owens, and then he starts like stunning everybody. But we think, okay, he's legit. Maybe there's a chance for Owens to win it. But nope. Then Aleister Black comes out. Also, he's like he got a good showing. He did the Black Mass on like McIntyre, like pretty good stuff. Number 29 is Samoa Joe. He comes out with a great reaction, and then he starts like helping out like Kevin Owens. But then at the end they go at each other. Number 30, Seth Rollins. So
Yep.
no CM Punk for the ones that they were
Yeah.
saying
No.
CM Punk.
Yeah. No Cena. We didn't get no Sting because maybe they would introduce Sting to. And what did I tell you? I don't know. Like, let us know, family, if you think this would have been legit. I said because Rollins was going to be in it. It should have cut to Rollins backstage. And like his whole group, like Buddy Murphy and AOP should have went up to him and been like, "What the hell's going on?" And he should have been laid out.
Yeah,
And it's like, who attacked him? And then number 30 hits the Crow, and then freaking boom, here comes Sting.
it would have been a lot better.
Because
But
then
like
you
he
have
came,
Sting in the Rumble, and it's like he attacked Rollins, what you did to me. But that would have only made sense if then the Undertaker was in the Rumble.
yes, it would have been a lot more sense. But like Rollins came out with AOP and Buddy Murphy, and they were all helping out
Hmm.
Rollins to win the Rumble because at some point I think it was Kevin Owens who like he dropped him. He tossed him over the trade rope, and then AOP
Yep,
caught him.
AOP caught him. Yep.
Yeah, but then McIntyre was also trying to eliminate him. But then also Edge was trying to eliminate. Nobody can eliminate Rollins. But then at the end, actually, Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe get eliminated by Murphy and the AOP and Rollins.
Hmm.
But then finally, like Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens would took care of Murphy and the AOP. So like the final, like you get to see Drew McIntyre, you get to see Edge, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and Rollins. So they
Hmm.
all team up, and then they all took care of
Yeah,
Rollins.
because Buddy Murphy, he pulled out Aleister Black as well. So
Yes.
that feud's probably not over.
Yep, and then we
Or
get
or
to
he's
see.
gonna or it's gonna be like or it's gonna be like KO, Joe, Aleister Black, and probably Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, and the AOP.
Yeah, yeah, that would be legit. So I think those are like you said. After Lesnar came, was thrown out. I think the Rumble got legit. So the
Mm.
final four we have is Roman Reigns, Edge, Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, because they
So
throw out Rollins because Rollins was kind of beating up all those guys, and then like he looked at Roman and he was like, "Hey, remember
yeah,
the Shield fist bump?" And it's like, dude, no, you're
they all
done.
get finishers on each other and everything, and then Edge and Orton they were teaming up, but then actually Edge turns on Randy Orton, and then he eliminates Orton, and then Edge starts they have stare down with Roman, and then they go like face to face, and then they start brawling, but then Roman unfortunately eliminates Edge.
Yeah, which it was a cool spot. You could have had it where now because we know how the Royal Rumble ended, I'm fine with Edge being eliminated because Edge coming down to the final two, it probably would have made me want Edge to win. But they had this spot. Roman was on the apron holding onto the ropes, and we were even saying like spear him, spear him, spear him, and Edge goes to hit the spear. Roman moves out of the way, and then Edge and him are fighting on the apron. Edge is holding onto the ropes. Roman just kicks his hand until he lets go and falls. But I mean, it would have been cool to see him spear Roman, and
Spear
knock him
against
off the.
spear.
Yeah.
It would have been legit. It would have been legit, but unfortunately they didn't do that. But again, this McIntyre and Roman for the final two. You and me are pretty much like nervous, like thinking that like
Mhm.
I needed a diaper for this. I was gonna borrow Samoa Joe's diaper because I was like, oh my god, there's something going
Oh,
on here.
I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my god, if Roman wins, you can't have female Roman win and male Roman.
it
There's no
would have been
way.
the worst Rumble in history. But thankfully, thank God, because there is a God. Reigns gets back in the ring and drops Drew with a Superman punch, but then Roman tries to throw Drew out, but he holds onto the ropes. Roman wants to hit a spear, but instead he gets hit with a Claymore kick, and then Drew lifts Roman and throws him out. So the
Yeah.
winner of the
And when
men's
he hit
Royal
that
Rumble
Claymore
match.
kick, I was shaking my freaking chair. I was going crazy because I mean, it wasn't like it was like He Claymore kicked him, and I'm like, that's it. Because if that ain't it, then I would have taken the PlayStation, I
Mhm.
would have picked it up, and I would have threw it out the window. Because there's
Yeah,
no way if he didn't win off that Claymore kick, he wasn't gonna win at all. But he hit him, threw him over, and it was
it was like,
thank you God. Like Vince McMahon, maybe there was like an ounce of freaking logic in his brain, and he's like, man, I really shouldn't have Roman win. The fans will riot. AEW will have 2 million views every week. I better have Drew McIntyre win.
I think at the end they did the most. They send the crowd happy.
Hmm.
I'm still in home, but like at least we could record happy
Yeah,
because
like I said in the beginning, like up until that point, up until number 15 in the men's Royal Rumble, I felt like I got shot with 10 bullets, like 50 Cent. But I live because they took
yeah,
6 of them out with
like 50,
McIntyre.
like
Yeah,
50, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So in the end, I really, good for what it was. The winner, McIntyre deserves it. He was crying, and rightfully so. This guy has the potential of being, a great champion, and this is what it should have happened last year.
Yeah,
So
think of all the emotions through his head. He was young, he was 22, 23. Vince McMahon loved him when he first came there. Then he was in freaking 3MB and all that other bullshit, and it was like, who cares about this? And it's like the dude had all the talent in the world, but for whatever reason he wasn't. He goes back to the indies, he becomes this monster. He, bulks up even more and everything. And now it's like, to think he probably thought at one time that he screwed up, that he failed, that he would never come to WWE, he would never see this again. And now he's back. He won the Rumble, so there's probably all these emotions. And like we said, we just feel happy for the guy because he really
like you
deserved it.
said, like for example, like he's been, booked at some point really great, and then Roman, and then done. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Like he whenever he was going up, Roman crashed him down.
Yep. Last year's WrestleMania match, awful match with him
That's
and
what I
Roman.
mean. So like now
Awful.
at least there was a little bit of retribution, and WWE rectified a
Hmm.
little. And we are happy. Like I said, when it comes to the women, we're not happy at all.
No.
But at least with the men, they did the right thing.
Yeah, and he eliminated Lesnar, so that is going to be the WrestleMania match, like we said. And you have the Randy Orton and hopefully Edge going against, the OC. But that's 3 against 2. So who do they need? Christian. Bring him back. You have a 6-man tag, or I would be even fine with a singles match. But you can't do like the OC, Gallows and Anderson versus Edge and Randy Orton. To me, that's bullshit.
Oh yeah,
It needs
you need
Styles
stuff
needs to
to
be in
make the
there,
OC legit.
and
Yeah.
then you bring in Christian, and that way you can get all those guys in one match, because they all deserve it.
And
So like,
that would be a good thing for Christian to actually be inducted in the Hall of Fame. And of course,
mhm,
who's going to induct Christian is going to be Edge.
yeah,
So it all plays, everything's just easy right there. The cards are just right there for you. It's just you know how to
exactly.
use them. So Jean Paul, I think that like we wrapped up. We did it
Hmm.
in a really good job. I think it's 12:30 p.m. January 27. For the ones that are watching right now, good morning to all of you. And once again, thank you for watching. This wraps up our show. We cover everything, so thank you so very much. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that button, hit the bell for all the notifications, and check our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, right there for you guys. And we will
Hmm.
be back. John Paul, of course, for Monday Night Raw. We
Yep,
love it.
I'll be back Tuesday morning for Oh, Monday Night Raw. Sorry, I was already thinking about the third hour, and I fell asleep.
Yes, and and also like we've been, it's been a really great busy week, but we pull it off. So I want to say
Mhm.
great job to Jean Paul Egg, and road break never
And great
stops.
job to Juan as well. Great job to Rope Break.
Thank you so
We're
much.
both
And
legit.
all of you guys have a great day. And, have a great beginning of the week. And in the name of Jean Paul and myself, we both would like to say,
Uh,